Hello, hello, it's Tash and Ro.
Welcome to or welcome back to
It's Saturday.
your personal self-care pod where you can escape the work week and unwind with your two besties.
No matter what day of the week it is, but for us, it's Saturday.
All right, guys.
Hey.
Welcome to another mini episode.
I love Saturday minis.
I
They're like
know.
just quick and fun, and we get right to the point.
And we have one topic that we dive into.
What are we diving into
We're
today?
talking about travel because we have so many trips coming up.
Oh my gosh, we might be on a trip right now. I don't even know.
Honestly, we might be on a plane right now.
Might be in Italy right now. Might be in Vegas right now. We
Yes.
got a lot of stuff going on, and we thought, now that COVID's come and gone, we're all going on our trips again. You go on trips all the time, so I feel like you'll have a lot of knowledge on this topic. We're going to talk about like packing, traveling, group trips. Because Italy, we're going to be a group of like 14 people traveling the Amalfi Coast.
Which is crazy, yeah.
That's a lot of people.
And I feel like you've done a lot of group trips in the past, like you did Greece and stuff. So I feel like there is a right way and a wrong way to do a group trip. And I feel like that's what we're going to get into today. So let's just get into it. So I think like the first thing about doing a group trip is kind of setting expectations. And we did this really early on when we started Italy planning of like, okay, what kind of trip do we want this to be? Do we want this to be activities? Do we want it to be sightseeing? Do we want it to be chill time? Like figure out kind of what kind of trip you want, because that will help you kind of figure out, first of all, is this the right group of people to be going on this trip with?
Because if one people want to do all activities and one people want to like chill, eat, like lay on the beach, then it's like, well, you're probably not going to have like cohesive things that you want to do. So maybe don't do that.
Maybe just split up. Yeah,
Maybe
honestly, split up for a bit. So I think that's like number one. And then the other thing is like we like to make like an itinerary. Like we started out really organized. Like we made a Google Doc. We had everyone added onto it. We started our itinerary and we set a schedule of like, okay, our trips in August, for example, we're going to start meeting like monthly or bi-weekly closer to.
Yeah. When did we start meeting? Like
literally in December.
Was it December?
Yeah.
Because we had all pretty much started buying our flights around that time. So once we
even earlier, I think it was November.
I think it was earlier. Yeah. Just to kind of get an idea again, because for example, like Italy's pretty big. So we had to talk about like what were the main places like we all wanted to see and like where can we find a middle ground for that.
That was important. Exactly. Like we're not going to see all of Italy in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So let's figure out what are like our non-negotiables. Like we want to see those places and then try to find a work around that. So I think that's really important. But yeah, getting organized early, making some planning documents, planning meetings, and then setting expectations. I feel like that's kind of like the starting point. And then it's like, okay, let's get into the nitty gritty of like, what do we want to do on this trip? And we're girls, so we assign tasks like for each.
Yeah. And let's get
person.
this straight, you guys. Yeah. The boys are doing nothing.
The boys are just showing up.
The boys are showing up and we have literally been putting in hours. Sometimes we're on calls for like 2 hours, but it's fun and we love to do it. I wouldn't have it any other way because I wouldn't trust the boys to plan the trip for us at all. No, absolutely not. But yeah, we're putting in a lot of work. We're meeting and we're just getting into it like every single time.
And like each person, sometimes we'd be like, okay, you're in charge of this city, for example.
Yes.
And like you're in charge of like
the research
for that city, and you add it to the doc, and then we have like a meeting and we kind of like summarize what happens.
Yeah. Also, we have our own colors of font, so we know who's writing what commentary in the doc, because otherwise if everyone's just writing in black font, it can get kind of messy. You don't really know like, well, who wrote that? So I know, Romina's purple. So anything that's written in purple, I know it's Romina. So if I have any questions pertaining to what she wrote, I can just ask her.
Yes.
And
I think another part that like at the beginning of this planning stage is like also figuring out a budget of like what you're willing to spend, and then also figuring out the budget of those around you. So for example, like I'm a student right now. So I was like, guys, like maybe we should be on the cheaper side because like I'm a student. But
maybe we don't go to the €400 beach club just for entry.
Yes, exactly.
Because that exists.
That exists, guys. That exists. So I think that's important too, of just being like, and that's fine if you guys, again, have to split up for a day because maybe there's a really expensive activity that the group wants to do and like you can't afford it or whatever.
This is kind of a pro, because there's obviously pros and cons to traveling as a big group, right? Like con, 14 people, we're not always going to be able to do the same activity.
Exactly.
Pro, because there's going to be different people with different budgets or different interests. Maybe 6 people are going to want to do this activity, and then 8 people are going to want to do that activity.
Like an activity that's like a cooking class coming up, and it's cool because we'll all be able to fill up the class. We are the class. So it is kind of nice because usually like random people would start filling up these classes, but now it's just like our group and it's like more private, which is nice.
Yeah. And this works even better to our advantage for the boat tour we're going to do, because the boat tour is a certain amount of people, and if you're less than that, then they just add random people that you don't know. But because we're a big enough group, we just take up the whole boat. Yeah, so it's our own personal boat trip.
So much better. But yeah, Airbnb experiences is a really good place to get things like that.
I didn't even know that this existed.
Yeah, Airbnb experiences.
So cool.
It's so cool. Yeah, you can literally do all types of different experiences. So there's like boats, there's cooking classes, there's even hikes. Like in Costa Rica where I'm going, there's like guided tours and hikes that you can do through Airbnb experiences. It's really awesome.
So sick. Is that a new thing?
It's been around, I think. Like, I feel like a few years after Airbnb got introduced, Airbnb experiences
I'm
came.
surprised we haven't used that on like previous trips.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. Like, they have like walking tours. They have all these different types of things, like different price ranges and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then another thing we do in our doc, which is amazing, we do like a standard calendar to like mark out like what our days will look like shorter form, but then we have like an expanded like version of it as well with way more details. We like links to like restaurants we're going to stay at, to Airbnbs we've booked, and like we make sure everything is just like
addresses, like like travel, how we're going to get from point A to point B. Like
this is like our Bible. Like this is
literally, we can sell it.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I think another thing too is like ask around, ask your friends like who have been to those places, because we were able to pull itineraries from so many different people and kind of combine them and pick the best things that suited our trip. So I feel like don't reinvent the wheel, like really ask around, get like the resources that you can, because chances are people will tell you like, hey, this wasn't worth it, or like this was worth it, or whatever.
And you can get that too from TripAdvisor, which is always great. And we've talked about TripAdvisor too, and like booking hotels and stuff, but it is nicer to have the actual like review from someone that you actually know and it's your friend. So you're like, you know what, if that was your vibe, it'll be my vibe, and if it wasn't your vibe, that probably wouldn't be my vibe either, instead of reading random reviews. But TripAdvisor is also a really good thing to look at when you're booking stuff.
So good, so important too, because it's like they're just gonna tell you what you want to hear on the travel or hotel booking site, right? So like, what do the people have to say about this place? So definitely go on there.
Yeah, I love that you also wrote making a Pinterest board for inspo pics to get like the photo. And you I don't think you've ever traveled with Kate, right?
No.
Okay, so when we went to Greece, like we all had like our own little like nicknames that we gave each other because we were traveling for so long. And Kate's the best for this. We would call her like the money shot, because Kate is down to do whatever she needs to do to make sure you get like the photo that you want. Like she will direct you. She's like hyping you up. Like if she shows you 100 photos and you don't like any of them, she's like, it's fine, we're gonna take more.
I love that.
She will get you the money shot, and I'm sure she's gonna bring that energy to Italy.
I need that.
But it's helpful. Like I actually have that on, it's funny you put that in here, because on my Instagram I have a saved like folder of photos of inspo. I'm like, oh, I want this kind of photo, I want that kind of photo, so I just have it on my Instagram.
Yes,
because all these Instagram models are doing all these sick poses, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that pose.
I feel like sometimes you get to the place and you feel awkward and you're kind of just like standing there like this.
Yeah, you actually have to
do some different poses. So definitely go on Pinterest and save kind of like different poses that you want to do and the photo that you want to get, because let's be honest, it's nice to be in that location, but sometimes you're like, I didn't get any cute photos.
Yeah.
Like,
you want some cute pics.
You want some cute pics.
And that's another thing too. Like I actually heard this story. There was this like couple that went on a trip with another couple, and the girls were friends, but the boys like didn't know each other like at all. It was their first time meeting, and they were going on like a big trip like in Europe. And one girl and her girlfriend, they wanted like all these like nice photos. And then like the boy that they hadn't really met yet, he was like just not down to take any photos. Like, he didn't want to be in photos, he didn't want to take any photos. Like if you're taking a photo for too long. He's like, okay, like let's go, like speed it up. So it was just like a big vibe killer because then she was like, you know what, I don't even want to ask to take photos anymore because he's just getting upset. So they got like no photos on their trip.
See, like that for me, I couldn't be in a relationship like that because for me,
Yeah.
I love taking photos.
Farzad's
like
the best for that.
but he knows that it like that's
my
like for me. I'm like,
gosh.
I want to take photos. But one thing about him is like we can take all these photos. I can look at them, make sure I got the photo, but then don't like put it away
Yeah.
and enjoy the moment. And
Yeah.
I'm 100% in agreement of that. Like enjoy the moment. Like this is the view. Look at the view.
Yeah, you don't need to be editing your shit.
You don't need to be like
now.
on
No.
your phone like trying to figure out what you're gonna post. Like
No,
do
no,
that
no.
later. But yes, like get the photo because let's be honest,
photo.
we're girls and we need the photo.
With our group, we're gonna get all the photos.
And
I can't
we're
wait.
gonna get so many. Also, Pinterest is a really good place to look at outfit inspo for different places that you're going.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And because we're going
So
to Italy,
excited.
this is gonna be like my first trip where I'm like really gonna be trying to pack.
I want to
light.
plan my photo, like my outfits before.
Me too, and take pictures and put them on my phone. Yes.
Let's do that. Let's be that girl.
Yeah, let's be that
bitch.
girl. I want to like have a folder where I just like have all my outfits because then it's just easy to be like,
Yeah.
what am I wearing today? Boom.
I think it will take a lot of time at the initial start, but when we're on our trip, instead of us like scrambling, like, oh my God, what goes with this? What goes with that?
Yeah.
We'll be so much happier that we did that.
And there's the 3-3-3 rule that everyone is talking about on TikTok and like on Instagram. And it's the best like packing tip. So you pack 3 tops, 3 bottoms, and 3 pairs of shoes that all kind of work together. So the rule of thumb is like pick like pretty basic things.
Yeah.
And with those 3-3-3, you can plan up to 22 outfits, which is like if you're going, yeah. So you just have to like figure out a way to like put those together.
Them.
The way you style them and
Oh
the
my
way
God,
they
I
go
need to
together.
look at this.
Yes. So
Gotta do some
honestly,
homework.
it's a really good tip. And I was like I was watching a ton of videos. It's easier when you're layering for sure. Like if you're going to a colder place, we're going to a hot place.
Yes.
So that's why it's like pick basics, like make sure you like they're obviously with Italy, we're going to want a lot of like patterned dresses and stuff. But in terms of maybe like some linen pants with like a basic shirt, and then you can like change up the shirt, maybe like add something, add a different pair of shoes that make it dressy now, add a belt.
Yeah,
like,
your purse.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, those little things will go a long way for sure.
Yeah.
Something too that I'm going to get, like I have regular packing cubes that I bought like years ago, but I'm ready to upgrade and I want to get some compression packing cubes.
Yes.
I want to get like the monos or like some really good quality ones because I feel like just sucking all that down was going to be huge.
It's 100% game changer. Like you have to use like compression ones because then it'll just like
suck everything
yeah,
in.
it sucks everything in.
Yeah. I'm going to do that for sure.
Also, like another like kind of packing essential things is like travel bank, like having like a charging bank with you because like you're going to be traveling all day.
Yeah.
Your phone's probably going to die. My phone literally dies if I don't charge it midway
My
through
phone's
the day.
dying right now because I didn't charge it.
So I just like know myself I'm going to like need one of those, and also just like an outlet adapter, especially for like you're going to Europe, like make sure you're getting an outlet adapter, and also make sure you're reading your electronics, especially your hair tools, to make sure even with the outlet adapter, it's not going to blow a fuse and like ruin your product.
I need to figure out what I'm going to do for that.
Yes, because like there's a lot, sometimes they don't have the dual voltage, so you just have to make sure, like for example, my Shark is not dual voltage.
Our blow dryer is not.
Yeah.
So
we just have to figure that out.
yeah. Oh, also though, a tip for this and what we're kind of doing in Italy is we are staying at mostly hotels for this trip, and hotels will have a blow dryer. So I feel like we're at the point in our life where like, yes, Airbnb is nice, but like the amenities of a hotel, including the blow dryer, guys, you can't go wrong. So I feel like that's also a little tip as well. And something that I honestly just really am down for, and I know sometimes they can be overpriced, but a lot of my favorite products come in travel minis, and rather than like putting my like full size product into like a tiny little thing, I just feel like it's worth it to get the travel minis. Like you can get the Thayer's toner, you can get the Youth to the People cleanser, Laura Mercier tiny little translucent powder, Super Goop comes in a mini, Ilia mascara, like all my favorite things as a mini. It just is easier.
It's so much easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I've been like also keeping them, like, you know, Sephora sometimes gives you like little samples or like whatever. I've just been like storing them. I'm like, this is a perfect little mini. Also, a mini hairspray is really essential.
Oh my gosh. And then don't break it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I did for us.
100%. We need to bring one of those.
Yes.
But I think honestly, a hotel's worth it for the amenities, just like the fresh towels every day and like
the robes, the slippers.
Yeah, it's nice.
The room service.
And also, if you don't have something, like you can always just go to the front desk. They might have it.
Yeah, or they're gonna have like little shampoos and stuff, little soaps. Just like take those with you.
Yes, exactly.
Also, guys, make sure that you are packing your essentials in your carry-on. And just because you're on a direct flight doesn't mean you're safe. I had a friend who was traveling direct from Toronto to Vancouver. She was going to stay in Vancouver for a month, you guys. And she packed the majority of her stuff in her checked bag because it's a one-way flight. Like, it's a direct flight. Like, what could go wrong? They lost her luggage.
Which is insane.
This happened over a year ago. They never found her luggage. Like, someone must have stolen it. Had all her favorite clothes. Aritzia, thousands of dollars worth of stuff. She only got credited like $300. So you need to make sure, like, whatever you can't risk losing, you need to keep it in your carry-on because you just never know. And I know that's probably like a very, very rare situation, but
it happens.
It happens. And especially a lot of like European like flights, I feel like shit gets lost.
People like open up your luggage and just kind of like look through it. Honestly, it's kind of weird.
And even if you have an air tag, which I'm definitely going to get air tags just for peace of mind, but I've heard people have an air tag in their luggage and it's lost and they're like, hey, like it shows that it's here. And they're like,
sorry,
there's nothing I can do right now. Like it's like we'll just have to wait and like see and da-da-da. And you're like, what? I have an air tag in there. Like, just go get my shit.
It's kind of crazy that they haven't gotten better at this whole luggage thing.
That's just one thing that's just,
it's just
shit
weird.
Forever.
Like, it's almost like they should figure out a system of like, I don't know, a sticker or something like a QR code. Like goes on the luggage and it gets scanned. Like, I just don't understand.
Like, is it all the conveyor belts just something like fall down to another conveyor belt? Like, what is
and
it
there's
all
a guy
look
at the end
like?
just like throwing it in. Why have they not automated this? Like, we have AI influencers, but we can't figure out how to get a bag on a plane. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
But yeah, like so crazy.
So crazy.
Also, another thing too that's worth kind of looking into if you're traveling a lot is finding a good credit card. And what I mean by that is one that has like, for example, 0 foreign exchange fees.
Oh my God, that's a really good one. I got to do that.
So like my Amex, for example, has 0 foreign exchange fees. So if we go to the US, for example, and we're paying with USD, some credit cards, if you're paying USD with a credit card that doesn't have that, they're charging you like
every
2%,
time
3%, 4%, whatever.
And that adds up, especially when you're gone for a long time.
Exactly. So if you have one that's 0 foreign exchange fee, also one that's like has a good insurance for travel is really important.
Yeah.
You know, so like, let's say you do lose your bag. If you booked your credit, if you use that credit card to book that flight, a lot of the times they come with a really good insurance. So if something happens, you can submit a claim and they're likely to give your money back, which is nice.
Oh,
yeah,
you really want to have that.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Also, we both have the Bays Weekender bags, and I feel like that's going to come in really clutch, especially. Are you going to bring yours to Italy? I'm definitely bringing mine to Vegas.
I don't think I'll bring it to Italy just because I'm doing a backpack.
Yes, true.
But yeah, definitely to Vegas. I bring it almost all the time when I travel.
That under compartment is just,
so
whether it's for
clutch.
shoes or like hair tools or just like those bigger things that wouldn't fit normally in a bag.
It's
so nice.
It is really, really nice. Honestly, it's such a good purchase. Also, look into your flight to see like what the size of bag you can bring, because I've heard actually horror stories about how the Weekender bag is now not being considered as a carry-on in some flights, which is kind of crazy. Not the flights that we're probably going to go on, but some of the smaller flights.
Like in Europe though, like for example, we're flying, I think we had to
the smaller flights,
the
for
smaller
sure.
planes in Europe. Yeah,
I've heard like Ryan Air, like you literally can't bring any type of bag.
I'm gonna have to check that.
Like, which is like
stressed.
Another air tag. And then lastly, also getting an eSIM is really, really worth it. There's this company that we've bought ours from for Italy, and also I'm going to Costa Rica. I bought it. Is Airalo, AIRALO.
I have to do this.
It's really, really worth it.
Let me know how it works out in Costa Rica.
Yes. So you can get one for each country, and then you don't activate it until you are like leaving. But like it's really good. Like I got like 20 gigs for Italy for like,
oh, it's plenty.
yeah, 20 gigs for like 20 days or something like that. And it wasn't that
Okay.
expensive. Yeah. It just depends. Each place is different. Like Costa Rica was expensive for some reason, but like Italy wasn't. It really just depends on the place you're going. But it's nice because then you have data.
Yeah. And you
So,
want data.
You want
'cause
data.
how are you going to get around?
Exactly.
You gotta make sure you know where you're going.
Yeah.
And then another thing I thought was really helpful too is if you are staying in Airbnbs or even like hotels, just like finding out if they have like laundry services available, because I mean, we're gonna have to wash our clothes at some point, and we're gonna have to wash our underwear.
Yeah. I'm like, how many pairs of underwear do you bring for 3 weeks?
Like 1,000.
All my underwear.
All my
'Cause
underwear.
I'm one of those people that packs like,
Or I'm just gonna buy
40
new underwear and
pairs.
throw underwear out.
Literally, honestly, might do that because I'm one of those people who goes like through like 3 pairs of underwear a day. I'm like,
And
just
yeah.
changing like underwear
Well,
every second.
Because you like wake up, put on different
Yeah.
underwear, work out, put on
Put on
different
different
underwear,
and like before bed. Like I'm just always
I'm always changing my underwear.
all the time. Can't be doing that. In Italy is gonna be like, we've made 3 days and you've already run out of underwear.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I hope this was helpful, guys. This is just like our little like.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-listen to this before we go on any of our trips. Oh, also one more thing I want to
Yes.
say. And Tracy was the one that gave me this idea. She just has like a master packing list of like all those essential things that for like every trip you're probably gonna need. Instead of always making like a new packing list, just making that one master packing list with all the essential things. And then if you ever forget something, you just add it to your master packing list because it's like, oh, that was an essential
we should
item.
make one and share it with the pod.
Oh my god. Yeah, we should make one for like the group too.
The
like
group.
everyone to like, because when we go on like little weekend trips too, like God bless Kate Taylor always like sends like a packing list. So we should do a little group packing list. So all of us are like, oh shit, I almost forgot that.
I almost forgot that. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my
we'll
God,
do
I
a group
love
packing
that.
list.
Another thing actually we did for Vegas that I think is really helpful if you're doing a big group trip and there's a lot of themes involved.
Yeah.
Is making like mood boards.
Oh my god, I can't wait for you guys to see the mood boards.
We're gonna
Romina
post
made
them on the pod
me.
account, but I made little mood boards for each of the theme nights because let's be honest, like you call, I don't know, theme something and then
Yeah.
people are like confused by it. They're like,
Yeah.
what does this mean?
Literally.
What do I wear for this? And then it's just an easy place to just go for inspo. That way you're not answering a million questions of like, what do I do?
Yeah,
What do I do?
the mood boards are a goat. Like you have to do
fun.
mood boards now.
Yeah.
They're the best.
And it also just makes sure that everyone's kind of similar vibe and one person isn't like
Yeah.
underdressed or like, you know,
like this is the vibe.
this is the vibe and show up like this. Yeah, it's gonna
Oh
be
my
really
gosh.
fun, guys. I can't wait to post like our mood boards and then what we look like in Vegas. It's gonna be sick.
It's gonna be sick.
I'm excited.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope you guys, this is super helpful for you guys. If you have any other like suggestions for traveling, group trips, let us know.
us.
We'll probably have to do another episode after our group trips to be like, actually, guys, this worked or like this didn't
Update.
work. Yeah, exactly. Well,
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for spending a Saturday mini with us. We love you guys.
I love you. Okay, bye.
Bye.